this lesson, we're going to talk about the pre-shot routine. Now, whatever level of golf you play at, from novice to tournament pro, you probably already have an ingrained set of movements or habits that you call your pre-shot routine. Now, the thing about a pre-shot routine is it's rather static and it's rather stationary, and it can be a bit boring to talk about, but really it's a very important part of the game of golf. When I teach tournament professionals and top quality amateurs, you might think I'm dealing with complicated stuff. The reverse is true. When I'm working with those guys, I'm working on posture, grip, alignment and ball position. It's a real key to consistency to have a consistent pre-shot routine. If your pre-shot routine is erratic, then your swing can be erratic. In industry, they call it SOP, your standard operating procedure. So that's what we're going to have a look at. We're going to have a look at the standard operating procedure for golf, which is called the pre-shot routine or the setup. I'm going to just demonstrate what I normally do. So there's me hitting a 6-iron and going through the pre-shot routine. Now you probably think that looks pretty simple, but what I want to do, I want to break it down and have a look at it piece by piece. So the first skill was to walk into the ball and approach the ball with my left foot. The next stage is I step in with my right foot and I offer the club with my right hand. I'm aiming the face and the shaft. I then tip from the hip to build a grip, and as you know, we need a parallel left thumb. We then add the right hand to the left thumb. That gives rise to a shoulder line. If I have a shoulder line, then my hips and my feet agree. So can you see that sequence, which takes place over 15 or 20 seconds, there's probably 25 to 30 little disciplines that we're already doing in readiness for the golf swing. So I don't like to call the setup a position, because a position to me is a rather static black and white image. I'd rather see it as a preparation, a series of small movements in readiness for two very large ones, i.e. the backswing and the downswing. So just have a look at that again. I approach the ball with my left foot opposite the ball. I step in and I present the club. The club maker tells me three things now. I know my distance from the ball, I know my height of the handle from the ground, and when I tip from the hip to build my grip, I have discerned my posture. And if my spinal angle is good, all I have to do is drape my feet underneath my hips and my shoulders. So, it may look simple, it's not easy, it takes a lot of work. The good news is you can work on this stuff in the back garden or even indoors. You don't need to waste hours at the driving range when you can do this at home in the garden or in your house. Particularly if you've got a long skirting board, it's a good idea to just put the club against the skirting board, and it gives you a sense of alignment and it gives you a sense of being parallel. So once we've gone through the pre-shot routine, we have to then make a backswing and a downswing. And there's a transition from preparation to backswing, and there's another preparation from backswing to downswing. So again, if I can keep the pre-shot routine a series of movements, club, grip, shoulders, hips, feet, I'll have perhaps one or two waggles. I will then coil my shoulder. That is the first transition. To go from a rather static address into the backswing is the first transition, and it's turning the left shoulder first in the backswing. Okay, so here's the pre-shot routine. I have a waggle or two, and then I turn the shoulder to the throat. It's a very simple swing thought, left shoulder to the throat. I've now got a secondary transition to make from the backswing to the downswing. I'm now going to release my hands. Now, as you can see, I was able to swing to the top with a loading of the power, maintain that position for a little while, and then come through and hit the shot. So my pre-shot routine was mainly in my head, but it manifests as a physical process. Transition number one is to get the left shoulder to go from address to a backswing. Once you've completed your backswing, transition number two is to release the shot basically with your right hand or both hands in the case of the golfer. So let's do one of those for you with the whole procedure. Out on the golf course, I'd come and stand on the ball target line. Walk in, left foot opposite the ball, blade and foot, build the grip, do the feet last of all, couple of looks at my target, one waggle, load the shoulder, release the club. Okay? So when you look at a pre-shot routine, in my mind, the word pre-shot routine is an entity, but actually it breaks down into about 24 to 30 disciplines according to the sequence that you use. But again, when you watch golf on television, just put a stopwatch on the players. You're going to find that from taking the club out of the bag to dispatching a shot is a pretty consistent time frame. If you're a slow mover, slow talker, slow swinger, then you might move quite steadily. If you're more sort of up-tempo and quick, your pre-shot routine might be sharper. The important thing is that the pre-shot routine suits your temperament and your physique. So just to close this little piece, 90% of swing faults start at address, and the other 10% start at address as well. That's what I've always said. So if your pre-shot routine is good, if your pre-shot routine is 10 out of 10, you've got a 10 out of 10 opportunity to hit the shot that you want.